So hello everybody, welcome back. So this is a video about news. And this may be breaking news because it's not going to make you whole. It's actually going to probably wonder about a lot of things and then make you feel doubts about a lot of things that you are being told, or things that you might want to research, or things that you might need to invest into. I have mentioned before, I'm not a financial expert or anything like that. I'm just a teacher who happens to do a lot of research because it's my job. I'm a professional student. So, having said all of these, grab your coffee and your notebook because you might need it. And if you wanted to share one with me, thanks for doing that. Links for that down below. And if you wanted to take a look at my books, links for that down below. And if you wanted to help me out so that I can get some books in Amazon and other things, links for that down below. And here we go. So, number one, I want you to write down the name of a guy. So it's an engineer, and his name is Álvaro Sauras. So the name is spelled, I'm going to write it down in here so that you can have it. Give me a minute. So that's how you write it down. So this is an engineer who is kind of like a genius. And you might want to do research about what he has to say about electrical cars. If you're thinking about, investing into this topic, and also if you want to know more about cars and engines and tendencies and electrical batteries and a bunch of things that are about transportation and about the monopoly behind all of these things. And he makes a lot of points and a lot of historical points and a lot of things that are law, as in lawsuits and a lot of accidents and a lot of things that are insane in terms of manufacturing and all of these things. So if you want to know more about what is going on behind the scenes, it's interesting. The guy. Oh, and by the way, he talks very simple. So he's kind of like a teacher in the sense that he is making points that are logical and they are sequential, as in they are in order. And also, I think that anyone with a basic understanding of English will be able to get his points. You do not need to be an engineer to understand his lectures or whatever he's doing. The reason for that is that he explains things like if you were, not a 5-year-old, but maybe a teen, any teen will be able to understand him. So, just letting you know that you might want to know about that one. Just in case that you need to do research, or you are working for a company that is car related, or a company that it is fuel related, or a company that it is related to transportation and stuff like that, because that guy, and like I said, he's an engineer. So, and if you are an engineer, you probably will pick up a lot of things from his lectures and stuff, and it will be great. Oh, and he has a lot of points about all the anyway. If you want to know more about that, then now you have a nice resource to research. So, having said that, Then now we are going to talk about other stuff. So there is several people on videos that mostly they are in Spain. Some of them are in the UK. Some of them are from the US, and it's very paradoxical, sort of speak, because they are claiming that fuel, as in gasoline, is becoming obsolete, and at the same time it's becoming more expensive, and at the same time it's a war situation, which is why you're probably going to end up losing your job because you will have to quit because the fuel prices are going up like crazy. And then you're thinking, okay, I might need to change the car, my car, in order for me to be able to get to my job because I'm spending all of my money trying to get gasoline. Yeah, the whole situation behind the gasoline is the fact that they are trying to turn it into the diesel. As in, the whole point about the situation with the electrical car is that you can have your car that depends upon electricity. But if you're going to go to the gas stations are now being filled with devices that will fill up the electricity for the electrical cars, right? Except for the fact that those electrical, pumping machine, the one that are supposed to be for the electrical cars, they run on diesel. So I have a question. If the gasoline right now is very expensive, by the way, they are doing this artificially, meaning they are forcing you to pay even more. So if you're thinking that right now you are spending a lot of money in gasoline, no, you're not. You are probably paying not even half of what these people with the companies that are behind the scene are trying to push forward. Then you are not paying half of what they want you to pay. Because see, right now, the companies are forcing the gasoline pumps to buy or to get the electrical pumps. The electrical pumps need generators in order for them to work. Because they cannot depend upon the grid. They could. I mean, I'm guessing that they were probably going to make it mixed. But all the electrical things right now, they depend upon diesel. So diesel and gasoline are sort of like the same, right? I mean, of course, they're not exactly the same, but they're sort of like the same. So if you're paying, let's say, $10 for the gasoline, then how much money you think you're going to pay for electricity for your car when, in order for that thing to be put into your vehicle, see, if you're getting gasoline into your vehicle, right now all the infrastructure is already paid for. And right now, this whole thing, it has only one fuel, one type. You put gasoline, you get gasoline, that's it. But now, in these fuel pumps, you need a generator that costs money. You need diesel, which also costs money. And then you need the fuel pump that is going to be for electricity, that is also going to cost you money. So you need diesel, then you need electricity, and that is what you're going to get. So basically, you're paying for the service of the electricity, and then you're also going to be paying for diesel, and you're going to end up paying double, because you will have to pay for the maintenance of this pump. And by the way, since this infrastructure is a newborn, then the investors need thousands of millions of dollars so that they can place all of this infrastructure, which has to be double, because I told you the diesel plant and also the electrical plant, in each and every single one of the fuel pumps that you can find in the planet, if they want to make it all to the electrical car thing. So how much money that, do you think that rich people are going to put that money of their own pockets when they know that Toyota already created the hybrid that actually works with the other kind of engine that doesn't require and doesn't consume as much energy as the other one or whatever? It's insane. So they know that the consumer, once this type of engine is out, then consumers will just stop. You don't need gasoline and you do not need diesel and you will not need electricity. But this contract and this thing is already being made because it's already thousands of millions of dollars that have been invested into this thing, and somebody has to pay for it. And guess what? You are paying for it by the gasoline. So if you're thinking that you're paying too much by $10 or $100 for your gasoline right now, oh no, that's nothing. Wait until they actually bill you for the electrical car changing things that are going to happen, and then you are going to end up spending $300 for the same gasoline, because they will have carbon taxes on it, they will have pollution taxes on it, even though that the electrical one is less efficient, because it's not the same you having one fuel source than having two. Every time that you have to change from one to the other one, you're losing energy, so that makes it less efficient. So good luck with that, Oh my God, I really think that the solution here will be every single person trying to educate yourself about the change that is supposed to be made, and the change that how this works and how this market is being manipulated by these people that want somebody to pay for the entire bill of the infrastructure that is going to be new and is going to cost thousands of millions. I'm not talking millions, I'm talking thousands of millions of dollars. Because how much money you think that is going to cost? I don't know, let's say that in the US alone, just say that there are, I don't know, let's say 10,000, and I think I'm getting short here, probably I am. Let's say that, let's be conservative. Let's say that there is 1,000 gas stations. And in those 1,000 gas stations in the US, buying the electrical plant for the chargers and then buying the generators, let's say that each one is going to be $50,000, which is not going to be $50,000, it's going to be more. So, but let's assume, so that is $50,000 times 1,000, that right there is just 50 million. And that is just the beginning. Now let's add the fuel cost, the actual fuel cost, and then let's add maintenance, and let's add other stuff that need to work. And then replacing this thing, replacing the fuel pumps and everything else. Because, this thing will require cables and inspections and a bunch of other things. So let's say that each one of those things is costing you another $50,000, in a year. So that is 100 million, and it's just 1,000 of these things. How many fuel pumps do you think that there are in the entire planet? So let's say that the entire planet is 100,000. So multiply 50 million times 100,000 and see what is that about. And that's just me being conservative. Somebody has to pay for that. Because these people do not want to change into the thing that Toyota did. And not only that, but they also do not want consumers to realize that the whole scheme about the fuel and the taxes for the fuel in terms of how much carbon is being produced is insane. Because if you're saying that you're doing all of this because gasoline is creating, pollution, I wonder how much the diesel is producing. So you're saying that diesel is, somehow less pollutant than gasoline. I wonder how do they compare? And I wonder how much that is going to make an effect in terms of cars. And I wonder if you are now using diesel and then you are also using electricity, that means the batteries are going to have to be replaced. And then that also means that the batteries, which require minerals and stuff like that we need to get out of the ground, yeah, I wonder how much that is going to actually cost and how much damage we're going to do to the environment getting those things. Especially since the ones that are getting those minerals are kids. And I'm not joking, kids who are 10 are working in the mines so that you can get the freaking minerals so that you can get the batteries working. So I wonder how this whole topic is going to play out, because I'm guessing that as soon as there is environmental people that say that this is a scam or whatever, and then the human rights organizations realize that okay, we're exploiting 10-year-olds so that we can get electrical cars, so that's not fair, so we have to compensate them, that means more money. Yeah, I'm wondering how much of that money will actually have to come from the fuel cost that people are paying right now for gasoline. That one is just not going to work out. And the whole reason why I'm mentioning all of this is because there is a lot of news about people saying that they cannot afford fuel, people saying that the whole fuel thing is a scam. There is a lot of people that are asking why all of this is happening. Well, all of this is happening because the new change, as in, it's not enough that you have to pay for one fuel. They want, the elite needs you to pay for the new structure that will require 2 fuels. And by the way, if anything happens in a system that requires one thing, and that thing breaks, what do you think will happen if you have 2 links in the chain now? See, if there is no diesel, then there is no electricity. And if you have no electricity, you will have no car working. So, if this new system, requires 2 links in the chain rather than just one, then I can tell you right now, it's going to be more expensive and it's going to fail more frequently. And then we will probably have even worse situations because the electrical cars also have other issues, like they need updates, as in whatever you have in a car, if it works with Wi-Fi, electricity or whatever, and they need updates, how much money you think you're going to be paying for those updates in those cars? Because I just read several articles that were so like, oh my god. So let me explain this one. So you have a cell phone that requires updates all the time from your apps. Now these updates, most of the times they're free, because they are intrinsic to the platform and you need them to work. However, there are apps that will mess up your car, the electrical ones, and the self-driving or whatever, and you will have to pay for those updates, and you will also have to pay a monthly fee, sort of like, let's say that right now, I'm uploading these YouTube videos, and I'm doing them, and I don't have to pay. However, let's say that I am a creator and right now YouTube decides that I need to pay for every video that I am uploading. How much money you think that the company is going to be making? And a lot of creators will not be able to pay. So a lot of people that have cars will just become completely obsolete within weeks. So you buy the car and the car becomes completely obsolete because they will need updates, just like the cell phones. So if a cell phone right now is costing you, let's say that every year you need to get a new cell phone. So the cell phone costs $2,000 and you have to replace it every year. So the cell phone for this year, if you're paying $2,000 for it, that is more than $100. It is nearly $180. Let's say, $180. So $180 per month for your cell phone. And next year it becomes unusable because the new apps are too heavy, and every time that the software uploads with the new updates or whatever, the device you have will not work and it will just become obsolete. So it is a programmed obsolete thing. So basically, people, there is a reason why they're giving all the social media and everything for free. It's because they need you to become extremely dependent on your cell phone so that they can charge you for new cell phones every year. Because try to imagine the numbers that these companies are making, not to mention the money that they are making out of selling your data and all these things. And now try to imagine that, but instead of being a device that costs you $2,000, it's a device that is costing you $40,000, which is your car. $40,000 for a couple of years. So I have a question. How much money you think that is if your car is going to become obsolete because of the updates and everything like that? And they are not telling you all of that. Because if you knew how much money you're going to have to pay. So that means that cars are going to be just for rich people, like they are right now in my country. And everything, and I do mean everything, will be just for rich people. There will be nothing for middle class. There is no middle class. And the whole thing, that the only thing that you can do is stop this madness, don't buy these things, and get the ones that are, like the Dyson company that will produce something and they will not milk you. Choose companies that will not milk you. And I'm not a supporter of any company, because in fact I don't invest in companies. I don't invest in anyone. The only person that I'm investing, and probably, and I'm even borrowing money so that I can invest, is in myself, and it is, it is insane, by the way. But the whole thing is insane. Oh, and if you're wondering about all of the fires that are happening in the UK and in Spain and in the US and all of that, yeah, they are being produced by chemtrails and other stuff that they are putting into certain metals and certain things that, they are producing chemical reactions with certain, I don't know how to explain it, but if you understand a little bit of chemistry, which I'm guessing that you do, then you will know that sometimes mixing chemicals can create explosions. And you're not supposed to put several things because they create explosions. So you gotta know what you're mixing. And these people are, placing a lot of graphene everywhere. And they are also placing a lot of metals everywhere. And they are also placing the chemtrails and all of that. And then you have a lot of fires all over. And then they are blaming it into the global warming. I'm not saying that all of the global warming is a scam, but it's not how the information should be analyzed or should be presented, because it's a lie. Facts are facts, and interpretations are, open to discussions. But when you're being presented interpretations as facts, then you're being lied to. Like people saying that all the fuel prices is a thing because there is a shortage or whatever. Yes, it is, but it is being done on purpose, and is being done by manipulation of this market, and the only thing that you can do is choose to avoid the market altogether. Stop paying money to these kind of companies and actually buy and actually get and support the companies that do not want to milk you. Companies that are investing into new kinds of engines, new kinds of things, and choose to believe that we can do better. Because otherwise, you are going to be a consumer for life. And this is creating so much trauma and so much drama that our kids are paying the price. They don't know how to work. They don't know how to do a lot of things. And, in 5 or 10 years from now, when electrical cars, are there, if we think that all of this is the best thing, then they are not going to even know how to drive. They are not going to even to know how to do stuff freely, as in not paying money for it, like walking or doing things for fees that are actually okay. And this is insane, because the wages are not going to be able to keep up with all the expenses that you are going to have to pay. See, I'm talking about these things, and they are all in an economy that is supposed to be healthy. So what happens if in this economy that it is supposed to be healthy, the economy sucks because the economy is sick, and now you have inflation? So your cell phone, instead of costing you $180, is costing you $400 per month, so that you can keep up, because otherwise you will have no cell phone, and there is no way you're giving up the cell phone, right? So are you going to give up the car? Because your car is going to cost you around $4,000 per month, just in apps and updates and stuff. So if you're living paycheck to paycheck, or you have severe limitations in terms of money, how are you going to handle being milked in your cell phone, being milked in your car, being milked in your fuel, and then being milked into your food and everything else? Because they are also implementing a lot of things in terms of the food. And I have mentioned all of these in the food reproduction list that I have. And I have also mentioned a lot of these things into other stuff, in other videos that are also about news and about how you can get stuff and all of these things. And it's insane. Because it is not enough that you're being milked in these topics. You are going to be milked in absolutely everything. In fact, there has been at least, and I don't mean at least, 20 news this week about how we should rely upon the artificial sun that they have in China and they are creating in Europe and they are going to create one in the US. How we should rely upon artificial sun so that the temperature is better on this planet. Because the actual sun, the one that has been supporting us for thousands of years, sucks. Yeah. So, I have a question. How much money do you think you're going to be paying for, like I said before, sunlight? You're going to be milked everywhere. And since you are not going to be able to pay, your kids will have to pay your bill. And it's going to be a slavery system that is going to be way worse than before, because by law, you will have to pay all of these things. Because you're alive, right? And since you're alive, and you're alive thanks to the artificial sun, then you should be grateful that we have an artificial sun, so you have to pay for it. And you're thinking that I'm crazy. Okay, so you're thinking that I'm crazy, then I have a question. Don't you know that every time that you have to understand anything, you have to go where the money goes? You have to follow the money. So I have a question. How much money you think it has been invested into creating the sun that is already working in China? And how much money do you think it's going to cost to have all these new setups in the gas stations all over the planet so that they can transcend to the electrical car? And how much money you think is going to cost all of these things? We are being set up. And so we need to think smart. And if you are going to do this, then you are going to have to do a little bit of homework. Researching what is happening with the shots. You have to research what is happening behind the scenes for the fuel price. And if you're thinking it's all because of one guy or whatever, no, it's not. It's beyond this thing. It's a system. The new system is going to be more expensive and more oppressive. And there are patents that are insane. And these patents are about, genes and stuff that is being done behind the curtains. And the worst part is that most people are believing all of these things because of the new technology that they have, which makes us fall into a state of hypnosis. So when you're trying to talk to people, most of them will just not be able to understand you because they are in a hypnosis state. And this has been proven. And the worst part is that that we need to understand how our minds work. We need to understand how the system is working. And we need to understand how we are free. But in order for us to be free, we need to choose a better system. And if you're going to choose a better system, then you gotta figure out who you are actually supporting. Who? Because there is a lot of people out there, researchers, writers, teachers that are telling you, so, and they are actually scientists that are putting their hearts out there, and we are fighting a huge battle because we are kind of alone. That's why I've mentioned that you need to support the girl that is fighting the chemtrails, because if the chemtrails are not stopped, you will probably be homeless, because the fires are actually going to get worse. And if you were scared about the train that got stopped because there was a fire, and the train was in the middle of the fire, and the train could not move, and this happened in Spain this week, I want you to think about you traveling in a train and then having fires all over, and then the train not being able to move, and you being caught right there, not being able to move at all. Or you having to leave your house in literally 2 minutes because there was a fire and now you are homeless. And for all I know, you're even injured. And your kid is inside the house. And all of that. All of those things are mostly because of the chemtrails. If that woman does not succeed, we are doomed. And none of these things are important. Not one. Because the news are saying that this is not important. The news keep talking to you about other things that actually make you scared. Things like the new pandemic. Oh, there was a new pandemic today that it was from the monkeypox thing, and now there is a cat pox thing. And then I was like, a what? I'm sorry. The virus of the cat what? Yeah, there is a, there is a monkey thing, and now there is a cat thing. And then I was sort of like, what? Seriously? Because, my mom is already freaking out every single time that she reads anything. So try to imagine my mom figuring out, probably next week, because this week, the World Organization thing for the health, they told everyone that the monkey thing is a danger for virtually everyone. So on top of that one, now you have the cat one. And so you will be distracted for this one, and you're going to forget about, the gasoline or whatever. You're going to have to be like us, like Venezuelans. Venezuelans have been dealing with shit so long that we just don't care anymore. We just don't. And here is what is going to happen, how the world is going to act, because Venezuelans have done this. We don't care anymore. And not only we don't care anymore, we are trying to survive. So you're going to have a lot of black markets for absolutely everything. You need gasoline for your car? Yeah, you can get it in the black market. You need that? Get it in the black market. Yeah, get it in the black market. And does it? Because you do not need paperwork, you do not need the COVID passport, you do not need this, you do not need that, you do not need that. And, that's it. So now you are a black market dealer. In fact, I want you to think about this for a minute. You know how much money a passport costs here in my country right now? See, the web page in which you are supposed to register, with your data and say, hey, I'm Venezuelan, I need my Venezuelan passport. Yeah, the Venezuelan passport is supposed to be $400 for a couple. let's say that me and my husband, we want to do these things, so $200 each. So here's what happened. The web page does not work. So if you do not register in the web page, then you cannot pay and you cannot get the passport. So the web page did not work for 6 freaking months. If you need to travel or if you need your passport now, you have to go to Caracas. That means more money for traveling, spending, or whatever. And then once you are there, you are asked for $1,000 cash if you want someone to give you the passport. So that passport just costed me alone $1,200. So it was supposed to be $400 for me and my husband, if I was married, because I'm not. But instead of being $400 right now, if I want to get mine, it's $1,200. So if I want to get my husband's, it's another, $1,200. So that is $2,400. That is 6 times the amount of money that I was supposed to be paying legally for me getting the passport. Oh, and by the way, once I pay the $1,000 cash, there is a, let's say 70% chance. 70% chance that the guy or the girl that I gave the money to will be caught, cheating or whatever, and then they don't have access to the system anymore because they will change the passwords in the systems and whatever. So basically, I lost the money and I was doing it illegally. So I can't go to a judge and say, yeah, I gave her money for my passport, because the judge is going to be kind of like, yeah, I'm sorry, who the hell is she and why do you give her money? You're supposed to pay through the platform and you're supposed to do it legally. So you are trying to tell me that you wanted to get a passport illegally, you're going to jail. And you making, a statement saying that these people are scammers, yeah, you're going to be thrown in jail. And now you gotta pay $2,000 to try to get out of jail because you were trying to get illegally documents that are supposed to be for yourself. So you trying to get the passport just costed you $1,200, and then if it didn't work out, which is like a 7 to 10 chance that it doesn't work out, then you trying to get that money back is going to cost you $2,000 and you going into jail. So that you can use whatever. So you trying to get the freaking passport just costed you more than $4,000 right now. And that was until there were so many people, and I mean that, there were so many people that got caught into this thing that it was becoming, a mainstream thing. Everybody was sort of like, I paid $1,000 and this, until somebody said, okay, screw this, I'm not going to make the announcement of this lady onto the court or whatever, I'm just going to put it into social media. And then there were 1,000 people in social media saying the same thing. This particular girl took $1,000 from me and she didn't give me the passport. This particular guy took $1,000 from me and they didn't give me the passport. And then, there were more and more and more and more. And that is where actually the police was forced to take these people down. And when they were trying to get these people down, it happened 6 months in which there was no way that you will be able to get your passport, even if you wanted to pay. Oh, and the people that paid for the passport before the problems with the platform, yeah, they lost the money. So you paid your $200, you are supposed to have an appointment, you are supposed to go and take your passport for next week, and then you go to the location you're supposed to go, you are supposed to take your picture or whatever, you show up and then they tell you, Yeah, sorry, the platform just went crazy, so you gotta pay again, and then you gotta wait again, and then you gotta do again. So you just lost the $200 that you paid in the first part, so that you could get your freaking passport. So all of these things happen because there are systems, and they are computer made. And if you're thinking that computers do not make mistakes, yeah, but they are being manipulated by people. And people will force you into doing whatever just because they can. And then there are people that are going kind of like this. Okay, I do not want to pay $200 and then lose the money. I do not want to pay $1,000 and then not being able to do anything. Because otherwise, I don't want to be scammed. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to be with the drama. I don't want to travel. I don't want any of this shit. So I go to a lawyer. And then I said, hey, find me my passport. You know how much money you have to pay to a lawyer in cash to get your passport? 3,000 US dollars. And you can get it in a week. So I have a question. If you are a teacher like me and you're making $25 per month, how in the freaking world are you going to be able to afford a passport that it is $3,000 and it will last you 5 years? Now, that means that this passport that lasts 5 years is costing me nearly, let's say, 5 years between 3,000. Let's say that is a lot of money. Let's say that is $600 per year. $600 per year. When I make in a year $300. Because if you multiply 25 per month times 12, that is $300. So that is double of my salary per year to get my passport. And that is just one of the things that will absolutely make you crazy about the system. A passport that it is supposed to be just $200 for 10 years, by the way. But the ones that they are giving you will last 5 years. Because of course they do not want to give you the one that is 10 years because they will tell you that is $5,000 or maybe even more. So they will give you the one that is 5 years. So every 5 years, they will have to, go again and do the same process. So if you do not make a lot of money, then you are not getting a passport. A passport, which is an international ID that you absolutely need if you need to leave the country for whatever reason. So basically, you're not leaving the country. You are going to be trapped inside your country. And if you do have a passport, then I can tell you right now that they are making it very difficult for you to get access to any country. Because they will put the COVID passport, and then they will put a lot of other passport things, and then they will put more things. Sorry, I get interrupted all the time. So I have a question. If documentation is going to be out of the question for you to travel, if you're going to have to pay more and more and more for just leaving your house, you get into your car and that is going to cost you hundreds of dollars, then you're not moving the car. If you're not moving your car, you're trapped in your house. And if you're trapped in your house, that means that you will have the need for more internet and the need for other stuff. And you're also going to have more mental issues. That means more medicine for depression, more medicine for anxiety, more medicine for sleeping, more medicine for healthy stuff because you are trapped. So how much money do you think that is going to cost you? And how are you going to make things work or happen if you are trapped and you're severely limited? And if you're thinking that is fun or you can be happy, yeah, I can tell you right now that a lot of people are actually excited. Oh my God, I just went to Twitter this week and it was insane. About 1/4 of the tweeters are asking for more crypto and more internet stuff, and they are saying how awesome it is that you can make money online and that you do not need to get into a job, you do not need to go with a boss, you do not need to contact other human beings, you can get everything delivered. And everybody, 1/4 of the people is sort of like so happy about it. So happy. And then I'm sort of like, right. So, so again, how much money you have right now in your account? So that I can have an estimate about, how long it will take you to realize that, yeah, you're done. Because if you're thinking, okay, I have $1 million in savings, I'm fine. Right. I just told you, your car is going to cost you $4,000 per month, and your cell phone is going to cost you, $400, and then you getting the passport and the lawyers and everything. I'm thinking that your $1 million is going to probably be gone in 2 or 3 years. If, this trend continues. So you will be broke unless you are telling me that you found a way to make 1 million and turn it into 100 million within 1 year. Then okay, then we're talking, because then you will be fine because you can do whatever you want. And even if you want to do whatever you want, you will still have to pay a lot of money to try to do whatever. So you're probably going to be not rich. You're going to probably just step down to middle class. So now you're middle class. Welcome. Welcome to the new life. You are middle class. You are making $100 million and you're middle class. Yeah. Because now you have to pay for the sun, you have to pay for the internet, the electricity, your house, the taxes, and everything. And at this point, more than half of the population have succumbed, so they don't owe anything and they're happy about it. Because you just succumb to the system and you're basically living off the government. And if you're living off the government, then... if you're living off the government, then I have some videos about CLAP, as in the food thing that you're going to be getting. I also have some videos about the money situation, the drama situation that you're going to have to go through in order for you to get your bonuses and your things. Like you having to participate into political meetings, you having to beg the neighbor to just allow you to get what you're supposed to get, because if the neighbor decides that you are not worth it, then all he has to do is to report you and then you're not getting anything at all. And all of these things are going to be so cool, in which all the other human beings in the planet are going to become your enemy. Because, they might be in a position of power, small ones, but everybody will have a little bit of power and they will exert that power no matter what. And that means that if they don't like you, you're done. And then you're probably going to starve to death, or you're going to probably be homeless. And if you are a pretty girl, I do not need to tell you what you are going to have to be paying. And if you're thinking that all of that is fun, yeah, like I said, just wait a little bit longer. And then the fun will start later. All of this is because we are falling into systems that are being more and more and more oppressive. So, fight the system? No. Just get out of the system. How? Well, you support the companies that actually are not going to milk you. You figure out which companies those are, because I cannot tell you in each country, what companies are doing what, because I do not know. That will depend upon where you are. and you need to support the politicians that are actually doing something about this whole thing, because there are politicians that are actually working. Like, for example, in France, there was a breaking news because they decided not to implement the COVID passport thing. The president wanted to do it, or the prime minister or whatever, he wanted to do it, but the parliament said, oh, hell no, you are not doing that. And then, now there is a power struggle, and guess what? They need the voters. So you gotta figure out how to support the political system better. And you need to stop fighting the people around you, because everyone around you might be an idiot. And for all I know, you might be the idiot. I might be the idiot. And the reason being, I have a video about this. Idiots are always present, because idiocy is part of being human, because it's part about you dealing with very, very, very low energy. And I have a question: how are you going to have high energy and be happy if you're broke, and if you are running all over chasing water, chasing, electricity, chasing everything around you, and you do not know what you're going to do next? This is also why my channel has been focusing so much about you training your mind. You can have a bunch of stuff. Okay, fine, that's important. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying don't prep. I'm just saying that stuff is just one part of the deal. The other part is you sleeping properly, you trying to have some sort of normalcy within your own house, and you being able to understand yourself. And that's why I'm going to create a new series called Adulting, and in which I'm going to explain to you how to deal with with teens, because and helping teens to become adults. And if you are an adult, then you might also want to check that one out, in case that you might need another perspective in hard times, because quite frankly, not everyone understands how to go through a lot of things. And by the way, I screw up all the time. And I have several videos in which I'm explaining what I'm doing about money and stuff like that, and they are kind of personal, and I haven't pressed the button to publish them, because I'm not even sure about these being okay, because I keep losing subscribers rather than making things better for this, even though I'm working a lot in my videos. I haven't even been able to reach 500 subscribers yet. And in fact, like I told you, so I have decided to work this out. And I'm doing my best here. So it's all about you doing your best. And if you needed guidance, then you got a lot of guidance in a lot of channels that are about teaching. And I hope that these videos somehow they are helpful. Oh, and by the way, they are meant to be hopeful. And if you're thinking that they're not hopeful because you're thinking that you will be trapped into the system, that I have just told you. Choose not to be trapped into this thing. Choose. How do you choose? I do not know, because I do not know you. I do not know where you're from. I do not know your own circumstances. But you gotta choose the companies that are fighting for you. You gotta choose the politicians that are fighting for you. And you gotta choose the people that are actually fighting for you, like that lady that is fighting the freaking chemtrails. And other things, There are a lot of people that can get the support that that they need if all of us were just going to breathe and understand what is happening. Other human beings are not your enemy. They just happen to be in a position in which they are hypnotized or whatever. They are idiots. Big deal. You have also been an idiot several times. So what? I have also been an idiot several times. So what? Are we going to kill every human being because we're idiots? Yeah, right. Because that is going to solve the problems. The problem is not easy. And we need to support each other rather than just believe the system and that's it. It's hard, I know, but it is doable.